How you doing? Good to see you.
Good, I'm
Good to
good.
see you. I noticed you're not carrying anything.
Well, you know, it's still not able to bring some bagels, but I promise I'll get you next time.
So you guys are still in that cost-cutting mode, huh?
I mean, our numbers are doing great. It's just, this always happens this time of year.
Gotcha.
It's just,
Gotcha.
you know, the end of Q1, it always happens. I know when taxes come around, you guys have some cost-cutting measures as well, so.
Yeah, I know. They make us feel loved, you know, if you brought us some bagels. I'm just saying.
I promise I'll get you, I promise I'll get you next time, Dave.
Excellent.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of review your international side. We talked about it previously. I know you guys are trying to expand that e-commerce market to capture more of the international business. You guys already have a decent amount. That's something I want to show you and then move forward with some ways we might be able to help you.
Okay.
Before we start, do you have any questions for me?
No, not at this point. I mean, I'm just curious to see what you have to offer.
Okay, perfect. Let me just go through this. Our agenda, we're gonna review your international part of your account, talk about some proposed solutions, maybe a summary, and next steps for implementation.
Okay.
So this is your 2018 international spend. As you see, $59,000, and you see the top countries there on the right. There's very few imports. I know we spoke about imports in the past from China. You guys currently use DHL for samples for imports, is what you told me last time, 5 to 10 per month. And it's something that you're not very happy with in terms of the service from DHL. So I do have some potential solutions that may help.
Okay.
As you see, there's plenty going to Canada, the Middle East, Europe, Australia. But I did speak with John, who runs your e-commerce site.
Yeah.
And he did say there's a high cart abandonment for international orders. So I figured there's some ways for us to help in that facet.
I don't understand. I mean, you guys carry our packages. What do you have to do with cart abandonment?
We actually have many international capabilities that can help your customers see the total landed cost, which reduce cart abandonment. And I'll show you what that means here in a second.
Okay.
So first, I wanted to show you some stats I felt were relevant to this conversation. 77% of global e-commerce customers think the total cost of orders, including duties and taxes, clearly stated, is most important to them when they're shopping online.
All right, explain that to me. I mean, what do you really mean by that?
What I mean is, as you can see from the snippet from your website below, whenever I try to put in an order for Canada, you give me the shipping options, but you see that long note that states your international shipping policy, you know, customer bid, subject to brokerage fee, you know, talking about the value of that, do not cover duties and taxes. That's difficult for your customers. If you were a customer looking at this website, would you continue on with this order? Not knowing the full
Yeah, I'm not
cost?
sure I ever really saw that paragraph in that way. I mean, obviously I'm not a customer,
Right,
right?
exactly.
So, no, that would put me off a little bit.
Have you ever encountered any other websites where you tried to order internationally and seen some of their international shipping policies?
I don't know, I've rarely tried to order anything internationally. I usually buy things in the US, so.
Well, I can tell you that Canadians love American products, especially with your industry, the mobility industry, talking about aids for people who have mobility issues. That's a worldwide need. That's not just something that's limited to America. So I figure your customers need to know what's going on up front so they can know exactly what they're getting into.
Interesting.
Let me show you one of the solutions that I want to help you with. So I want to talk to you about UPS iParcel.
Okay.
And these are the numbers I got from John. So from John, he told me that you currently miss 5 international shipments, that's the cart abandonment, per month, which may not seem like a lot, but he did inform me that your average international order value is $100. If you span that out over the course of a year, that's $6,000 you're missing out on
In total sales.
in total sales by not having stated landed costs for your customers. The UPS iParcel tool plugs into your website. It shows your customers the total landed cost. It also shows your customers in their home currency and their home language, depending on their IP address. So there's no extra work on your side. If a customer's logging in from Australia, you know, they'll see it in euros. If they're logging in from China, they'll see it in Chinese currency. That's just how it's going to work. logging in from France, they see this website in French, so they know exactly the specifications, especially with the mobility aids.
Mhm.
People with mobility issues, they need very specific specifications to tie into their mobility aid chairs, etc. So
Right.
your customers will be able to find out what exactly the specifications are in their own language.
I guess where I'm still stuck is on this, I mean, I can appreciate $6,000, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. But I think what you're really telling me is that every single person who abandoned their cart, it's due to the reason that you think it is.
According to John, this is the international cart abandonment. And what I've seen from international cart abandonment,
Mhm.
it's either total landed cost or not stay in the home currency, as in the slide before this. And I went back to the slide so you can see the stats.
So you're 100% confident that the reason for my abandonment is one of those two issues?
I'm not 100% confident. I would say I'm 95% confident.
Okay, fair enough, thank you.
And with this simple service, we can plug straight into your website. You guys are switching to Magento shopping cart. This plugs straight into Magento. There's no extra setup, no extra initiative.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially with getting one of our tech support people out here, it'd take 15 to 20 minutes for a setup.
So you're saying in 15 to 20 minutes, you could potentially be putting $6,000 in my pocket a year?
Exactly. How would that affect your business?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't think we need to go any farther on that. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Let's get that done.
Okay, so there's just the outline of how it works for your customer, increasing your customer's experience on your website. So they would go to your website, they would see everything local, like I said, local translation, currency conversion, local payment methods, any sort of banned item that's not allowed into that country. It's not stuff you have to worry about. That's already set into the program.
Have you covered this with John? Does he understand how this
We
works?
spoke briefly about it, and he said you may be the person to sign off on it. He said that you would have the more say in order to sign off on this.
Well, I have to say to sign off on it, and I mean, it sounded really simple a minute ago, but now you put up this 9-step process in front of me.
This is just your customer's checkout. It's showing everything from A to Z, showing you exactly what's gonna work.
It looks difficult.
This is very simple. All this is maybe broken up in steps, but the customer has no idea. It's seamless on their end. It's just like they were shopping on a website if they're from France, just like a French website.
All right.
As you can see, everything's localized, total landing cost at checkout, payment processing, fraud protection on your end. So what that means is if the duties and taxes, our total landing cost calculator says $30 for duties and taxes, it gets to France and they say they're gonna charge $35, UPS will pick up that 5 for you. So it'd be total guaranteed, no loss to you.
Okay.
And then, of course, automatic tracking notifications like you guys currently do with your own system. That's nothing new, that's already part of what you already have.
And you're saying after 15 minutes, my customers have all these capabilities like that?
Yes.
Wow. All right, well, I hope it's that easy.
Perfect. So I'll make sure that we schedule, and I have later in there dates and times. We can negotiate on dates and times for a technician to come in and get this set up for you.
And there's no requirement for us to do anything?
The requirement is that you guys ship at least one international package a day, which you saw you did $60,000 with the international, so that's not going to be an issue.
You don't even need any help implementing it? You don't need any of my people engaged?
John would be very helpful. John's time would be helpful to help get it implemented. Since he helped design the website and kind of handles the back end, having his expertise and his knowledge there with the technician would be very beneficial. So if we could also take John's time, 15, 20 minutes to get it set up, that would also be very beneficial.
Okay,
That makes sure it goes seamless and smooth.
all right.
Perfect. In order to help your shipping team with the international shipments, I want to talk to you about our paperless invoice. It's another solution I think will be very helpful for you. It's something that you guys currently don't have, and it would be very beneficial because whenever you do the customs documentation through NetSuite, what this would do is automatically have all the international documents and a second label that prints off. When that label is scanned, it goes to that country's customs. If there's any sort of customs issue, you hear it before it even leaves the country. As you can see in bold, it reduces customs holds up to 56% in all the other customers that have this product.
You know, I'm having a bit of a brain cramp here. Who is it in our company that handles this, who does this work?
This is Dyna.
Okay.
Dyna does the international shipments.
Because I'm feeling like I don't really know a lot about this, and that this isn't something I deal with.
Okay. Well, I know I've spoken with Dyna, and she said she takes about 10 minutes to do these international documents.
Okay?
If you guys continue at your current rate of 66 shipments per month, that's 11 hours per month she spends on just creating international documents, printing them out, folding them up, putting them on the box, the whole process.
Okay.
If we implement this paperless invoice for you, we could save you 132 hours per year, which equates out to $2,640 back in your pocket in cost savings.
Okay, does this require me?
No, this is Dyna. We would get this set up with Dyna, but again, it's something that you need to sign off on. There's a signature on your end that needs to happen for us to do this.
Okay.
So I want to make sure I run this by you and also show you the cost savings that we would be showing you from this solution.
Gotcha.
I felt like that was important to you.
Okay. Anything you need from us on this one?
I would need Dyna's time to walk you through the process and how to do it for the first time.
Okay.
That would probably take about 5 minutes to show her the first time. Going forward, you would see that time savings.
Okay.
Perfect. The last thing I want to talk about is your imports from China. I know you're currently carrying those with DHL.
Mm-hmm.
You said you've had some customs issues in the past.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has customs issues, right?
Right. But with those particular customs issues, it was because they didn't put the correct information on the commercial invoice. I got those copies from Dyna
Mm-hmm.
to see exactly what it was, and they weren't labeling your product with proper harmonized tariff code.
Yeah, but I thought my vendor does that. I mean, DHL is determining the harmonized codes.
No, your customer determines a harmonized code. They put it in on the commercial invoice.
So I don't get it.
So
I mean,
this is
this
a way.
has nothing to do with DHL then, right?
This is actually how UPS can differentiate ourselves from DHL.
Okay.
So this is going to allow Dyna to create those shipments, those commercial documents, that label for your vendor, so there's no customs holds going forward. We'll go through each way it affects you. So it gives you total control. So you know exactly what the shipping cost is going to be ahead of time. Reduce documentation errors, and that way you can accurately determine final transportation charges and time. For the flexibility, it allows you to route shipments directly to the buyer, so it doesn't have to even come to your warehouse and go straight to your customer. And have the commercial invoice removed so your customer doesn't know the value that you paid for it. For visibility, it allows you to know when your work schedule is going to happen. You don't have to guess when the import's coming in. You know exactly when it's coming in because you planned it. On the technology side, you can do it from any of our shipping platforms or NetSuite. So there's no additional download, no additional steps, and we can track it straight through Quantity Manage, which you guys already have set up.
All right, there's a lot here.
Mhm.
So can you summarize this a little bit for me? I mean, what exactly are you telling me?
So I'm telling you that Dyna can create the labels for your imports, so there's no customs holds, so you guys know the cost ahead of time, and you know exactly when it's coming in.
So Dyna's gonna be doing all the processing for the vendor?
Just for these imports. Now you say you do about 10 imports a month,
Right.
and currently she said she's already on the phone, the email back and forth for about 30 minutes trying to get them all the proper information.
So how long do you think it's gonna take her per month to process 10 orders?
Actually, I could save you 27 minutes per shipment. This could take 3 minutes for Dyna once we get it down. That would save you 113 hours over the course of the year, which would be $2270 in time savings for you.
All right, I'm missing the math there because, so right now, Dyna's investing 27 minutes with the phone calls,
She's investing 30 minutes with the phone call.
or 30 minutes with the phone calls.
This process take 3 minutes for her to create this label and this documentation. Because she's already doing it on the export, she knows exactly what your harmonized tariff codes, she knows all the necessary information needs to be there.
So she's knocking out 10 orders in 3 minutes?
She can knock out 10 orders, 3 minutes per order. And this is monthly.
Okay, so forgive me here, maybe I'm struggling with the math,
Okay.
but I'm spending 30 minutes now.
Yes.
I'm gonna save the 30 minutes,
Mhm.
but then I'm gonna have to invest 3 minutes per order,
Correct,
times 10,
correct.
which is 30.
30 minutes per order currently.
So she's spending 30 minutes on every single one of my import orders?
Yes. Making sure that all the documentation is correct. The language barrier is also an issue. This is directly from Dyna.
Oh my goodness. So you're telling me it's like 300 minutes a month that
Yes.
she's spending on this issue?
Exactly. What else could she be doing with her time?
Well, let's hope not that.
If we cut it down to 30 minutes per month, that gives you 270 minutes free. It's 113 hours a year.
Why can't I just hold my vendor accountable to doing it right? Why do I have to take on any of this work? Why can't I just make that 30 minutes per shipment go away by somebody doing this right?
This is how you ensure that it's absolutely 100% correct and there's no errors whatsoever.
Gotcha.
This also allows you the flexibility to have it delivered directly to your customer. Instead of coming to you and you paying the shipping charge going to that customer. This saves that extra leg.
You know, it's something I might not mind trying. I'm just not completely convinced this is gonna do what we needed to do, and I'm not sure I'm supposed to be taking this on. I mean, I pay my vendor. They should be the one doing it properly, and I'm not sure I understood the impact of this. So, I think that's possible, but I think it's one I wanna double back to my vendor for first,
Okay.
and see if I can't get them to fix their own problem.
Okay, this is something we can keep tapped. Maybe we can do this 3 months from now, 6 months from now, this is something we can always come back to.
Sure.
I'm just trying to propose solutions that would be a benefit to you based upon the conversation I had with John, Dinah, and yourself.
Sure, I understand.
So here's a summary of overall benefit that we can find for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
If we take out that last number, as you said, we're not gonna move on that right now. You're still looking at over $8,000 in growth/savings, financial benefit to your customer, to your company by implementing the iParcel and implementing the paperless invoice.
Good deal. Good deal.
Now, I actually want to focus in on that $8,000. With
Okay.
that $8,000, what else could you guys do with that money?
Well, I mean, I know $8,000 sounds like a lot of money in general. It's really not. I mean, pay a little bit of overtime here and there, maybe order a little more product this month. I mean, it's not gonna change our business.
Now, I would argue that that $8,000 could pay for the Magento that you're switching to.
What do you mean by that?
Because you already told me that you're switching to Magento because you're not happy with the way NetSuite has their shopping cart aligned.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cost to Magento, correct?
There is.
Using that $8,000 in financial benefit that we're gonna create with these two solutions, you could offset that cost for the Magento implementation and the Magento monthly service cost. And this is an annual benefit. This isn't a one-time $8,000 in your pocket. This is every year, we're saving you $8,000 because of the solutions that we put in place.
I hear what you're saying, and it's not that I'm not buying into that I think this is going to impact us. The truth is, I can't even show that math on a spreadsheet. I can't even see this $8,000 you're talking about. So it's not like I can physically take $8,000 and say that here it is, let me go pay for Magento. It's really a soft cost, is what you're describing.
How so?
Well, I mean, take like the paperless invoice thing you were talking about. I mean, that's gonna save me time, right?
Yes.
Well, I get that, but I'm not gonna cut that person's hours. I mean, they're a full-time employee.
Well,
They're
what-
still gonna come to work.
What else?
It's not enough to cut a full employee, so they're still gonna come every day.
So what else could that person be doing with their time?
Well, I mean, that's a good point. I think
Could they
it's
be
something we
making
gotta.
sales calls? Could they be generating more revenue for you? Could they be doing their process more efficiently? Could they help clean up the warehouse? Could they help organize the warehouse so there's
Yeah.
not that jumbled mess that we saw last time we went back there?
I think it's a good point. I'm not sure it translates dollar for dollar, because, you know, sometimes people, when they got a little more time on their hands, they take it for themselves. But I think you make a valid point, that, we could probably find some opportunity, that they could work towards with that time, so, I appreciate what you're saying.
Okay. Let me show you the timeline I was looking at. So I was going to have a call myself with the iParcel team with implementing to NetSuite.
Okay?
Now, you said you're switching to Magento.
Mm-hmm.
I already know it plugs into Magento. I just want to know how it affects the rest of your process,
Okay,
especially Magento going into NetSuite for the accounting side.
okay.
So do you have someone, maybe Dinah, maybe Jamie, maybe even John, that may want to join on this call to see, I know Jamie handles the accounting, so maybe in her best benefit, or maybe John, since he handles the back end of the website.
Well, I think it definitely makes sense, so that we're not investing time in something that's, you know how things go. We say it's gonna take 15 minutes, and all of a sudden we find a problem. So I appreciate you getting ahead of that. I'd like to have both of those folks on that call.
Okay, perfect.
Just to make sure that we're not getting ourselves into something we shouldn't be.
Okay, and I thought maybe April 10th, which is next Wednesday, could be a good day for that call. Do you think you could check with them and make sure their schedules align? Or do you think maybe I can check with them after this presentation?
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think that would be an excellent idea.
Okay.
Absolutely, since I'm such a busy
Yeah,
guy.
you are quite busy being the president of the company.
Exactly.
So I would like to be able to speak with John, Jamie, and Dinah after our conversation to make sure that these dates and timelines work for them.
All right. I think that's reasonable.
Perfect.
All right, thanks all.
Dave, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right,